Hey everybody, thanks for being here. Dolphin Kasper here. I'm joined by Fraser. We will both be at Mancamp this September. Well, it is September now. Time's a trip. So I wanted to get on a call and just invite Fraser to speak a little bit about what he's going to be bringing to Mancamp in our little preamble before I press record. He's involved in healing and creating spaces where other people can really tap in and touch into something authentic within themselves to maybe give voice to that authenticity, and also works with the body. So Fraser, thanks for being here. Looking forward to chatting with you a little bit, and for sure looking forward to getting to know you better out near Toronto at Mancamp this summer.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, happy to be here.
Cool. So I've been a part of Kirtan circles and have enjoyed. I think people who have been in that space have a sense of what it is. Some people have never been. So could you speak a little bit about Kirtan and what you feel like you're going to be bringing to the table for men that are coming to Man Camp?
Sure. So Kirtan is an amazing way to come together in a collective group energy. It's call and answer chanting, and it's also a chance to sing together, to sing mantras that carry specific vibrational medicine. And they have a frequency to them that activates energies within us and gives us the opportunity to open up our voice, open up our hearts, and also direct our energy in a conscious, focused way. In the overall picture of yoga, is there's these paths that bring us into deeper connection with self, and it's one pointed focus, and then moving into what's called dhyana, which is more of an all pointed focus, an open meditative state, and then samadhi, which is absorption, fully being present. And so what mantra or what kirtan gives us is the opportunity to be in one pointed focus together, singing of mantras, call and response in a group atmosphere where there's energy, drumming, guitar, singing. You can bring your full voice. You can be present, be uplifted by the energy of everybody singing along with you. And then there's an opportunity to keep refocusing your energy on the mantra, on the practice itself. And so there's a wave of energy that carries you, and also your own personal integrity and focus that contributes to that wave and is enhanced by that. And so what ends up happening is one of my good friends calls it the ultimate meditation hack. It's you sing and you open your heart, you put your full emotion into it, you're present, things come up, they get activated, there can be different feelings that are uncomfortable that arise, but you keep singing, you trust the process, and you find yourself feel lighter, more open, more connected, grounded. And I love it. I've been doing it now. I think it's almost 20 years ago that my teacher at that time asked me to go out and start sharing kirtan. And it's been a root practice for myself, an amazing way to center in my own daily practice, but also in group activity as well too.
Hmm. Yeah, and I love that piece you started with there, speaking about the single point and then the kind of multi-point or sort of, that open state of awareness where there isn't a point of focus. And there's something about the movement. I have an oscillation practice that I work with some of my clients around, where we bring in that really pointed focus and then that open awareness, and pointed focus and open awareness, and I think that oscillation taps us into the kind of range of awareness, the range of the application of awareness that we have, that often is unconscious. We might be just identified with ourself, or maybe an emotion or a story we tell about ourselves. And then the samadhi state, which is to me like a flow state, to me there's this beautiful quote about enlightenment. You probably heard it before if you've traveled in those circles. It goes, enlightenment is an accident. You can't make it happen, but you can become accident prone.
Yeah.
So can you speak a little bit about that? How can we become more prone through kirtan, or any other practice that you relate to? Like, what is it about it, and how do we become more prone to presence, to awareness, to purpose?
Yeah, sure. Becoming more prone to presence, awareness, purpose. I like that. I feel also to add the caveat that I'm not enlightened, and nor am I claiming to be, but I do feel that I do a lot of things that help make me prone to that that experience of spaciousness, of presence. And specifically in kirtan, how I think that contributes to it is one path of meditation that's most common in the West is one that involves us sort of sitting using our mind to reflect and observe. And, it's more of a solitary activity. And it's easy to sort of get into a loop of doership, or thinking that we can control the mind, and thinking that we're making progress and fulfilling, childhood programs that we have about wanting to be successful. And all that can come into the process of meditation or practice, where we feel that we need to be in there, and that we have so much agency in regards to these things. And that can be a little bit of a pitfall, a bit of an illusion. And what I find with chanting is it brings our full emotion in, it brings our full focus, and it also taps us into something that is precognitive, that we don't have to use our deductive rational mind in order to come into a direct experience of now. In fact, oftentimes that inhibits our ability to be fully present. And so I often find Kirtan in the call and answer to be an energetic communication, that you listen deeply, and then as you're listening, it stirs something inside of you, and you bring that emotion, that energy, you bring that out. And as you bring it out, you also feel something reflected to you. And when it's held in a good way, it's held in a space that, where the mantras are being sung from, is from a space of deeper pre-verbal stillness. And so in that, it's a process by which we are invited into a space that we can't just get to through deductive reasoning. That it's and it's also something that it helps us be more open and free in ourselves. It allows our energy to move, where, I have a sitting meditation practice. I do those sorts of things. It's a foundation of how I live and move in the world. That's very much there. But there's also something about being able to bring our full emotion into a practice like that, and bring our full energy, and not just be in more of a state of physical rest, but we can be active, dancing, and you can find yourself being pulled deeper in an effortless way, which that's one of the reasons why I love it so much.
Yeah, I can hear in you, obviously, your love and appreciation for it, and how it lands for you. And I'm sure your ability to then bring that to other people is really fulfilling for you. You mentioned the term doership, and I like that term. And I think there's a kind of slippery slope, or just like what might feel like a knife edge to walk there. Because I think for men in particular, there is something about acting in the world that is part of our purpose. Like we're meant to act. But a question I'm often exploring personally and with my work is like, what is my action in service to? And so, with the Kirtan space, I think there's an opportunity for someone who knows how to hold that space and come from that place of stillness, to provide the invitation and the intention of, like, we're here in service to open-heartedness. We're here in service to full expression. We're here in service to something deeper than the egoic mind or the intellect or the rational mind, that are great servants but terrible masters.
Yes.
So, I love all of that. I'm curious, what drew you to want to participate in Mancamp? And then we can close this brief conversation with, an invitation to men that might be feeling a call to shift something meaningful, to do something new, or to just strengthen the walk that they have along their path.
Sure. Yeah. So my call to Mancamp is, I've done men's work, and I've worked with young men as well too, at different phases. Over the years, worked in group homes with young men. I facilitated intergenerational healing circles with an organization called Boys to Men. I recognize deeply the importance of men's work, and I also feel that it's something that I'm very young in some respect. That there's so much to learn, and I find myself really drawn to it at certain times. And then I find myself just happy to be in a flow and not be carrying that concept that I have to be doing this type of work. And I feel that's important, that it's not becoming like the new shape that my ego loves. It's not like the new ego garment, right? Like, yeah, I'm a men's worker, right? And so my curiosity with Mancamp is, I know a number of people that are going that I feel are of high integrity and that inspire me, and they're also facilitating, organizing, things like that. So it's my connection with the people that I do know that are going, and also the curiosity of when this many men come together, there has to be a number of different men that are doing things that could bring in some clarity or meet me in such a way that could really help me to learn or up level and discover something, look at something, maybe even be challenged by something that helps my own evolution, and hopefully then to contribute to the greater good of society, and also that I can bring something to that space as well too. And you mentioned about, like the stillness and stuff that we've kind of been discussing and emerged through Kirtan, and you talked about the Doership and these different ways that, yeah, we need to be doing things in the world. It's not that we don't do things. That's not what I was referring to with Doership, but it's the ways in which it's more so coming from a selfish perspective, or I'm doing it for some sort of vanity, and I think that sort of thing can get exposed in when we're coming together in a practice that allows us to be very present and still, a practice that challenges us, different things that could be potential in Mancamp. And my hope is that it's also a space in which we hold a really clear mirror to each other, and that we can see some, not just grow into our strength, but I think sometimes the greatest growth is when we recognize the ways in which we're sort of lying to ourselves, or we're not fully showing up, or things that we don't recognize that are in our way of thinking that is kind of tripping us up and holding us back in some manner. And so my hope is that I can contribute something to the weekend that facilitates that deeper space of clarity, and that based on the people that I know are coming, that the overall space as well too will have that impact for others.
Yeah, awesome. I totally hear that. That's all resonating with me. Uh, as we're speaking about this experience, I know that this idea of exposure, or the word vulnerability, came up. I think for a lot of men, there's a challenge or a kind of conundrum that they wrestle with around wanting to be seen and known, wanting to like put the armor down, to stop protecting, to stop coping, but also having likely many experiences where that kind of exposure and that kind of vulnerability didn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Mancamp is one of those places, one of those spaces, one of those opportunities where we can genuinely lay our armor down because we know it's safe. Not safe in terms of, we're going to be held to account. We're going to be held to a standard, but with love and with compassion and with courage. And I think that's what men are really longing for. And love that you're going to be there. Love that I get to be a part of it. Looking forward to meeting you. And, for men that are considering, thinking about, on the fence about Mancamp, is there anything you would want to say to them that might support them in, not convincing? I don't think it's always the right thing for everybody, but I think for a lot of men, this is the right time to step into a container like this. So is there anything you'd like to share around that?
Sure. And I love this clarification that you had, that it's not about convincing, because I think that's really important. Like you said, it could be the exact thing for someone to do, but just not right now, or this could be the moment. And so I think that one thing that I would suggest is for someone who's kind of dipping their toe in the water of this sort of work, when you go into an immersive experience, that can be so helpful for the process, like, because you can sort of be trying some stuff out and be a little bit interested in opening up a little bit as you go along, but when there's actually that deeper immersive experience in a continued way over the course of a few days, it allows for a chance to really first sink in, kind of de-armor, and then as you de-armor, start to hear a deeper voice of clarity, and then also get rooted and grounded in that in some way. And from what I can tell so far, just from what I've seen, that this Mancamp is coordinated in such a way that it facilitates that there's a chance to land in the space. There's a spaciousness that you can be in your own flow, but also held in a group, and there's connections that are formed, and there's enough time to do that in a way that isn't just kind of having a little taste of something, but you actually get a chance to sink in deeply and hopefully get the seed of transformation from that.
Yeah. Thank you. So Fraser, I really appreciate you taking the time to drop in, to share a bit about yourself, to share about what you're bringing to Mancamp. I'm getting excited. It's only a couple weeks away. So if someone is watching this and they are feeling like now maybe the time, mancamp.ca is the website. Please come and check it out. I'm sure if you can find, I'm easy to find. Dolphin Kasper. I'm sure Fraser is available to be found, and just reach out to us if you have questions, or the organizers of Mancamp. And we look forward to seeing you there. And for those that maybe are leaning in, but ultimately discover that now is not the right time, this is the second year, and I have little doubt that there'll be a third and a fourth and a fifth. So there's opportunities to drop in and step into leadership, how and where is right for you. So again, thank you so much for joining me, Fraser, and I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Great. Thank you.
Cheers.